Without solid foundation in my life, I would not be the same person I am today.
I'm very thankful for solid foundation in our lives.
I may have continued down the path of a lot of my close friends that have passed away, and I honestly might not be here today if it wasn't for SF.
My name is Stephen Wolf. I'm the director of Solid Foundation Skatepark. I get here at 9 o'clock with some amazing young guys who just love being here. They get out of bed early on a Saturday morning to come here and help me set up the park.
We showed up there and we see kids skating everywhere, and Patrick sort of just kind of took off. That was his first taste of it, and then he was like, I want to go back next week.
Do you remember SFNJ? Like, we should go, we should check it out. I loved it. I fell in love instantly.
Most of the skate parks aren't run by skateboarders. Solid Foundation is run by skateboarders.
There's so much more thought put into it than your regular skate park.
The skate park's awesome. Like, it's different setups every Saturday.
Volunteers get a say in how it's set up.
If you want to change stuff up or build something, Steve was down then and there, you know.
It's neat to see kids shoot me an email or just call me up and say, hey, I have an idea for Saturday. Really fun, collaborative project every single week.
I can definitely say that skateboarding has changed the way I live my life.
I'm going to school for visual design. I think a lot of that was influenced through skateboarding.
Skateboarding had an influence on my career choice.
Absolutely influenced my career choice.
It made a huge impact on my career.
I didn't realize till I started working in the career I'm in fashion and whatnot, that skateboarding had a huge influence on my career choice.
Architecture and skateboarding started to merge and come to life for me.
Skateboarding, although it's a way to get away from normality of life, it actually helps me learn more about life.
Skateboarding has helped me face challenges in many different ways. When you're trying to learn something on a skateboard, it takes repeated effort, some tenacity, some failure along the way. That really is a lesson for life.
Solid foundation in its core of who it is wanting to build community and relationships.
The best thing about Solid Foundation is that it's a community.
Definitely has a real sense of community.
Found that community.
Solid Foundation is a group of people that come together in all aspects of life to get together as skateboarders or artists.
We got a barbecue going on, kids skating, you know, it was cool. You could bring your whole family there.
It factors in art, skating, and life into one great experience.
We have guys that have been coming to the park for almost 10 years now.
In 2002, when we partnered with Touch the World, they connected us with the property owners here. We've got the parking lot, which is right back that way. We've got the half pipe, which is right here now. And then we've got the barn right over there.
The barn, in as few words as possible, is the best.
Kids all came together to skateboard, to hang out, to talk about life. The barn is a skate club, which the kids skate and have like a more in-depth conversation with the kids where we get to know them more.
Skate Club is where we challenge the older guys to really be aware of their influence and to make good choices around the young guys.
The best thing about Solid Foundation, or at least to me, is that there's a brotherhood.
When I came to Solid Foundation, I saw something different, and that's what made me keep coming back.
Because there was that camaraderie and there was a lot of encouragement happening every week, and so I think kids would feed off of that.
Rather than just seeing skateboarding as a simple activity, the next generation up can be influencing the younger one, making skateboarding a more positive kind of influence in kids' lives.
Mentoring is a built-in component to the skateboarding industry, and Solid Foundation is right there, you know, at the forefront of connecting the youth with the older, seasoned skateboarders.
I think it's great to have somebody there pushing you in the right direction.
There was always older skaters that influenced how I turned out today, and just guys that through their friendship made me a better person.
I clearly see a big brother relationship in skateboarding.
The big brother aspect of it is inherently there.
There's big brother, big sister programs, but in skateboarding, it's different because you share a common ground.
My experience with Bill and Big Brothers and Big Sisters, it mirrored a lot my experience with Steve Wolf and Solid Foundation.
Solid Foundation has definitely had an impact on Patrick in a lot of different ways. And Patrick just so looked up to those guys because of the way they skated and just the way they communicated with them. I don't think he's ever interacted with someone who was more grown up than him other than like talking to a kid. You know, they actually related to him.
I've seen myself go from the one who needs to be guided to the person who's doing the guiding. It's as rewarding for the younger guy as it is for the older guy.
Would text Jake and like communicate, and Jake would always respond, never blew him off. And I'm sure he's a busy guy, but he still made time for Patrick. And it really, you know, he didn't have to, but he did it. And it meant a lot to my son.
Younger skaters are looking up to these older guys who've already learned things, paved the way, and are an influence on them. You know, whether it be the tricks that they do, the way they dress, the things they say, you know, it all kind of plays into it.
I don't know if a skateboarder really realises they have an influence on the younger generation until they take a step back and look at it.
I didn't always realize that I had an influence, but then I would hear about kids saying different things that they had heard me say.
Realizing my influence on others has repurposed my skateboarding to be less selfish and less about me just getting the next trick.
I think faith in general fits in any form of life.
I think it's okay to talk about God and faith in a skate park. I believe that everyone needs to have direction. I personally am not a believer in God. I don't believe in it, but that doesn't mean I don't listen to what people have to say.
Solid Foundation definitely does a good job at discussing these topics.
I think too it also brought up a lot of some of the struggle and some of the pain that kids were going through. I think there is a realness that comes out when people feel understood.
It's a different approach to it. Before I went there, I would have said, oh, I'm not so sure about this. I have to listen to some sermon or speeches. That's what I expected it to be, but actually it's not like that.
I think it would be great for the kids to learn from Solid Foundation other things other than just skating.
Solid Foundation has really helped me become like a better person.
You can be the skateboarder that breaks the mold. That's cool to see that.
Solid helped introduce the community to skateboarding in almost like a family-friendly environment.
In fact, it gives my son someplace to go and see other guys that I would consider to be decent role models. You don't always find that.
There was Solid Foundation, this wonderful place with wonderful people that I could trust my kids with.
I really appreciate the warmth. And at that point, I didn't know that many people around in my town because we just moved in.
It's really special to have a place that you just feel so comfortable and safe with your child.
My family went through a real dark time, and I just knew that this is a good place for them to go to continue to feel safe and comfortable, and that everything would be okay.
SF has completely impacted my family in beyond what I could expected.
We've outgrown the barn a long time ago.
Solid Foundation has been homeless for many years. It's used free storage space and a parking lot, but never had a permanent home.
One of our biggest challenges is that we've never really had our own facility.
The offices were in Allendale, the skate park was in Midland Park.
It's kind of challenging at times. The ramps being out in the weather.
Stored in the corner of a parking lot under a tarp.
Rained on and snowed on and moved around.
You know, we have to put money into it every year to be able to fix the ramps.
We absolutely need an indoor facility for when the weather's bad. Clearly, like, these kids are so disappointed on Saturday when the weather's against them.
It's always been a frustration to not know, when are we going to lose the barn? June of 2012, sure enough, I got the phone call. The barn was sold.
I definitely missed the barn.
Not having the barn has been a bummer.
For the last 10 years, one of our long-term visions is seeing the skate park develop a warehouse. And I'm excited to say we're finally there.
The idea of getting our own facility for Solid Foundation is kind of the natural progression of how we've been operating for the last decade or so. We've had this privileged opportunity to really be a part of people's lives. We've been able to support people. We've been able to help just see kids grow and help bolster the community and just really be a part of something bigger than ourselves. The only way we're going to be able to continue to do so is to have our own facility.
We're kicking off this campaign, Push for a Place, where we're looking to develop this cutting-edge skateboarding facility to serve as a catalyst for the skate scene. Kids from all over the Northeast region can come to skateboard to learn about the most progressive art, trends, sticker making techniques, silk screening efforts.
It's going to create a different environment in a skate park that people aren't used to. It's going to be new, it's going to be fresh, and it's going to be able to bring the community together.
If SF was to get their own location, it would open up so many doors.
It would definitely benefit the community just kids having a place to go.
It wouldn't be once, twice a week that these kids got to go. It'd be every day.
Provide a great outlet for the community.
Not only would it be a place for kids to come and
meet older guys to get some solid mentorship. It'll give them a home to come to and find hope through the problems that they're going through.
To try and just make something that people want to be part of. I'm like really excited that we have an opportunity to actually make something that skateboarders are involved in, that skaters want to come to, that they all have a hand in.
Years ago, I knew that if we're still in the barn, then we're not growing as an organization.
Solid Foundation, it's all ran by volunteers.
As a nonprofit organization, how do we pay our bills? Like, where does our income come from? We don't charge admission at the skate park. It's free for kids to come and skate. So it really comes from people believing in what we do, people making donations, people supporting our project. And that's the only way that we're going to get to the next level.
SF is built by kids and is for kids. When you feel like something belongs to you, you're that much more powerful in giving back.
The Solid Foundation is able to get a new facility, which is be able to do so much more.
It's not just about skateboarding, is it? It's about life, it's about mentoring, it's about everything in general that puts you on the right path and teaches you the basics of stuff at a young age.
It's more than just ramps, it's more than just ground, it's more than just skateboarding.
It's a way of expressing yourself. And so kids need a place to express themselves, not just through skateboarding, but through art and media, to be able to understand how they can use these things, these gifts that we have, to be able to bring it into the job market and give back to our communities and give back to the economy as well.
It's made me realise that you can bring people together if you give them the things to do it. You know, it's like giving them the tools and they'll build something, and they're building relationships based on having the tools.